let me know, like, how can we serve you best in the concept or the lane lead generation, right? Like where do you need the most amount of support? Where can we mastermind? These trainings are really designed to be mastermind format where we can all learn from each other. I welcome you to participate. You can either get on camera and unmute yourself, or just unmute yourself and not be on camera, or you can throw it into the chat box. With that said, I also want to, although he needs no introduction, want to introduce our co-host, business partner, Billy Colstock with We Lease Property Management. We Lease and Billy run this with me every month. So consider using them whenever you have a property management need. That was my pitch. How was it?
That was fantastic. I couldn't have done it better myself.
All right. Throw your comments or questions in, and we'll jump in. Then I have some thoughts for you guys as well. So Regina says, best way to reach sellers calling expireds still. Okay. There's a lot of different ways to go about this. The best way to generate seller leads, naturally, going after expired listings for sale by owners, it's the most outside obvious level of intent, right? Listings expired for sale by owner, they want to sell. That is a big opportunity. Now, outside of doing outreach to expireds and buy owners, if we look at the marketing side of things, what I know is working really well right now is data stack, which we'll talk about, of sellers. So I'll go back to the data stack, but marketing to them in a message about having a cash offer on their property. Now, the reason this matters and the benefit that this brings is we really want, when we're marketing, we want to find the highest level of motivation and intent with the people that we're talking to. So someone that's curious and interested oftentimes they have not yet started the process of actually interviewing an agent. So when they see the marketing that shows up and says, hey, just see what your home is worth, let's get you an all cash offer, it's a great way to start a conversation with prospective sellers. Now, when they reach out for the cash offer, here's the thing is, I'd say maybe 5% of the time, are they actually going to sell at the investor price? But what it creates for us is the optionality, and I'm going to show you guys some stuff here in a moment. It creates the optionality of now when I walk into a listing appointment, I can come in with a cash offer. I can show them the comps, and I can say, hey, so I'm just making up numbers. Your property, your comps are at $1 million. We have an all cash offer at 850. I'm really condensing the conversation here. We have an all cash offer at 850. Would you like to sell now at 850, or do you want me to go find one of these other buyers, which are the regular retail buyers, and that is me showing them the comps. So I'm going to show you this cool thing that some of you might have already seen. But inside of this new partnership with LPT, is my screen showing?
Yes.
So one of the things that are already integrated inside of LPT, Big Block LPT, is obviously the print shop. But inside of that, they have this campaign specifically designed to generate sellers. And we also have integration with, what is it called? Duali, which is an instant cash offer on any property. We also have Green Group, Bethany. We have a lot of investors inside the company that will put an all cash offer on any property. Doesn't mean your seller's going to love the offer, but it keeps you in integrity with the campaigns that you're sending out. So if we think about targeting and data stacking the right avatar of potential sellers, which we'll talk about in a moment, and we're coming at them with an instant cash offer on your home, that to me, I know it's working because I see it. I'm working with clients that do it, but it kind of cuts through all the noise and gets straight to the point of now we're talking about an offer. We're not talking about listing your home. We're not even really talking about, do you want to list? Can I come for a listing appointment? Are you interviewing other agents? We are condensing or collapsing a lot of the cadence of communication and going straight to the cash offer component. So with this, you need the front end marketing, which can be print, physical, like we see here. You can do it online with digital through Facebook and Instagram using Lofty, which now you all have access to as well. And then you can also have the websites through Lofty for free that are where the attention goes. So you have the front end display, the call to action, and the website, obviously your phone number, etc., bringing this whole campaign together. So I know I just threw a lot there at you, Regina and team, but I want to open it up to Billy to see what his thoughts are and color in anything that he thinks I might have missed.
I think it's just what you're kind of showing. You've talked about it in the past, and this is something that I'm working on this year is building the bridges, right? You used that term at a mastermind a while back, where it's just connecting the things that you've been building together so that you're having those, so you're having full campaigns, so you're hitting them land, sea, and air. And I think it's just adding things into the toolbox that gets you into more conversations. The more tools that you have, the more opportunities and the more conversations you can get into. I mean, that's
100%.
something that we've been using for years.
So I want to quickly talk about the data stack here. What do I mean by data stack? So earlier, Regina said, expired listings. That is a form of data, right? When we go past expireds and by owners, what we want is to get in front of prospective sellers that are more likely to be a seller than just farming 500 homes, right? So the process of getting in front of more likely is directly tied to the concept of stacking data that individually, each one of them hint towards someone that might be thinking about selling. So one of my favorite stacks of data, and there's endless ways you can do this, but I want you to think, put yourself in the avatar of the person I'm about to describe, okay? The homeowner has a non-owner occupied property, data stack 1. The property is vacant, data stack 2. The owner lives out of town, data stack 3. The property has equity, data stack 4. And even more ideal, they're in some sort of financial distress or have some sort of major life event. If you are that person, you have a property that has equity, you are in some sort of distress, it's vacant, you're paying the mortgage or you're behind on the mortgage. It's a painful process to be the person in that position. Even if the person doesn't have any sort of distress, it's still a non-ideal position to be in. We own a condo in downtown. Me and my dad own it together. Billy does the property management on it. But before we hired WeLease, he was trying to rent it himself, and we went 2-3 months without having a tenant in there. And we both started the conversation of, man, should we just sell this thing? Like, yes, we have equity. Yes, the equity could keep going up. We want to keep it in the family, all the things. But 2-3 months of it being vacant, we start to think about, man, should we just consider selling this thing? So you put yourself in the shoe of my dad, take me out of the equation because I'm in real estate. You take a 78-year-old man that has a property that's vacant. He's paying the mortgage on it. It's frustrating. It's annoying. And then this campaign shows up to his mailbox, or it advertises to him on Facebook or Instagram. That connection of meeting the clients where they're at, we call this going upstream, is a great way to get in front of people that might not be actively thinking about selling, but they are actively thinking about what's the solution to my pain. So that form of data stacking is a great way to do it. Billy just asked, does LPT have a specific tool for this? Are you talking about, Billy, why don't you speak out loud? Do you mean like for the data stacking or for the campaign?
No, for marketing material to be able to hit these people, maybe customize your marketing material so that you have something that is direct to those folks once you find them.
Yes. So the answer is yes. This that I just showed is through LPT. This is one of the magic white boxes. So this campaign already exists. In addition to that, there's through Lofty, which is inside of the back office. Inside of Lofty, you can create digital campaigns, Facebook, Instagram, etc., to ultimately market this sort of offer digitally through the social media platforms to your targeted list. So between digital using Lofty or physical print using something like this, that's arguably going to be the path of least resistance and the lowest amount of cost. Does that answer your question, Billy?
Yeah, so let's say your data stack just now is really good for property management. Let's say, like, could I go in and create something that says having trouble finding a tenant versus get a cash offer, right?
Absolutely.
So, okay, got it. So you can use the LPT marketing materials to customize to the stack that you're going after.
100%. So odds are, I don't know that property management campaigns exist, but odds are the campaigns already exist when you reach out to the print department. Now, outside of that already being built, there's two things that will support you inside of the infrastructure. One is Desi.ai. So Desi is the AI assistant that can create marketing collateral for you, graphics, flyers, etc. The other is the actual human marketing or graphic design department, which is included. So I would challenge that you could probably get it done very easily using Desi. But if you needed a little bit extra massaging, then you could, I'm sorry, Billy, I see that you sent that to just me and not the group. I apologize for.
I didn't want to throw you underneath the bus if it didn't have it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Good man. But what I was saying is through Desi, I think that you can really get the collateral done. If you needed help, then you could use the marketing department inside of LPT.
Suzanne asked, how can we get this data? Where can we find these data stacks?
Yes. So, hi, Suzanne. This specific stack of data is available through a company called Real Estate Worldwide. I believe their website is reww.com. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you. Yes. So Real Estate Worldwide, somewhere in here, they offer different data stacks of data you can buy. It's a software. And this specific one is called Find Motivated Sellers Now, or Finding Motivated Sellers. So they go out and they source the data, they put it on a platform, you drop a PIN or zip code that you want to find, and then you put the mile radius, and it'll pull up all the data that matches that exact data stack. So Real Estate Worldwide is one place to go. The other is, depending on who you use as a title rep, your title rep can sometimes help you with this data stack. I would also suggest thinking a little bit past that exact example that I used, and think about, like, okay, what about just, I like price point in this area, property has equity, and they filed for divorce, right? Like, that's a three-pronger that really matters, right? Like, I don't know what percentage of people that are going through divorce end up selling their home, but we know that it's a notable percentage. So if I want to just focus on, let's say, a minimum of $1.5 million value with equity, and the reason equity is important because of the divorce is because they have to chop up the funds, right? Or they might have to chop up the funds, and they filed for divorce. So that campaign, or that data stack rather, is another way of thinking, okay, what are the data points individually that all hint towards this might be someone that's thinking about selling? All life events, divorce, death, etc., that's one singular life event or one data stack. But when you take that and you add it to price point that you like, equity, financial distress, vacant, etc., you can start to create your ideal data stack. Does that help there, Suzanne? Anything you want to add to that, Billy?
I love the one, I mean, since we're pointing at Kent's page, I love the idea that he always presents is pulling all the cash buyers in a specific area and reverse engineering, going after the cash buyers and finding out what their buy boxes are, and then going and finding that property. So to your point, Regina, if we were to be looking for sellers or maybe even expired listings, if you had a cash buyer that you knew was going to buy 5 or 6 more homes this year, because most cash buyers like to collect properties in a specific area, you could be calling in that area with that cash buyer's needs, or, hey, this property fits the needs of my cash buyer. Again, adding to the tools in the toolbox that you have. And if there's somebody who's going after buy and hold properties, they're going to be a little bit more flexible potentially on their offer price. They're not gonna have that low offer price that maybe the renovators have. So now you have 2 different types of cash buyers versus just one type of cash buyer.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and Kent sells that. It's called, I think that program is called Find Cash Buyers. where he, again, any market, he pulls the data of anyone or any entity that has bought something like more than 5 properties for all cash in the past like 6 to 12 months. And he pulls all that data for you. So now you can marry, like Billy just said, your buying pool of investors with your selling pool of the data stack of potential sellers. And surrounding all of that, you have the optionality of taking it as a listing as opposed to just selling to the investors that you're working with. Sarah, I have not logged in to see. Sarah said she can't find the cash for your house marketing material. I haven't logged in to see where it is, but if you just reach out to the marketing department, I'm sure that they, or the print shop, I'm sure they could help. And if you can't find it, then just either reach out to me or Michelle, and we'll make sure that we get you connected to that campaign. You're welcome. All right. Any other questions about that topic and thought process? Okay. Let's see real quick. Okay. Billy, do you have any thoughts on stuff that you see working, or anyone else in the chat right now have any campaigns that you see are working well? Would love to hear from you guys. And if not, I do have a few other thoughts that we could touch on, but I'd love to hear from people that are actively in the trenches doing deals and see what you guys got going on. No? Okay. No problem. All right. So staying on the data front in terms of buyers, there's a lot of areas in the county that have had zoning changes that most buyers are not aware of, or most investors are not aware of. So what's my point? If you know of or find anybody that's doing ground up development, and they're everywhere. There's people inside of the company. We could connect you to people that are doing ground up development. They have a specific buy box, which is, I like this area with this zoning because it recently changed from density of X to density of Y. And now you can take the same collateral that we were just talking about and go specific to the properties that match your developer's goal. And the nice thing about that is the developers are hungry for opportunity, and they, although they're going to want to negotiate, of course, they're more buying for the upside of the build versus just a straight rehab. So their ability to pay closer to market value is oftentimes greater than someone that just wants to flip the property as is. So thinking about how can we get in front of the ground up developers is a great opportunity. On that same front, who do you know, investor that's playing in the ADU space and is just looking for properties that they can drop more ADUs on, right? And then going out and finding those specific properties that match their buy box. If you start with knowing who your buyer is, and then you reverse engineer the campaign on the front end, that's a very exciting opportunity. Airbnb buyers, right? Like, there's so many investors that have a very specific niche. And if we create a relationship with those investors, understand what their buy box is, and then go out and create the campaigns to match what they're looking for, I think that that is a great way to put some effort to having just one of the spokes in your wheel that you know can continue buying so long as you provide opportunity. Anything you want to add to that, Billy?
I think that the zoning regulations and the zoning changes are probably one of the biggest opportunities in real estate in our era, in our time right now. It offers so much opportunity. It's the Wild West. And then the inventory has not started to hit yet. It's starting a little bit. But the inventory hasn't started to hit yet. So it's still a good opportunity to run numbers and make sure that you're getting those refinances and getting the money out. So I love that. I try to talk to as many people about that as possible.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Any questions on any of this so far? Any campaigns that you're thinking about? Go and either unmute yourself or throw it into the chat box. In the interim, I'm going to go back to something that is the foundation of all of our business. And I already know that a large percentage of agents, not specifically anyone on this call, is probably not executing here as well as they could. And that is working your database, your past clients, your sphere of influence. A few things here, and then I'm going to share the ideas with you. I think that a lot of times we get stuck in the thought process of I am not working my database to its fullest extent, generally for one of two reasons. One is I don't want to come off thirsty or hungry or like I'm only calling Billy because I want a referral. And I'm going to address that. The other is how many of my 300 people in my database are actually going to buy or sell? And the thought that I want to share with you there is maybe only 5% of your database is going to buy or sell. But nearly everyone in your database knows someone or will know someone that's going to do a real estate transaction in the next 12 months. So that group of, again, let's say 300 people is arguably 250 to 300 transactions that are going to happen in your ecosystem, regardless of you being there or not. So if we think past their own transactions and think about their referrals, the volume there it's substantial. Now, with that said, to me, there's the thought process that I don't want to seem thirsty. I don't want to seem desperate. I don't want to just call Billy to ask for referrals. And then there's the cadence of how often I should be communicating and reaching out to Billy or my sphere, my database. Just curious, throw it in the chat, give me a thumbs up, or if you're shy, you don't have to. How many of us have that feeling of, I don't love the idea of reaching out to my database because I don't want to seem hungry, thirsty, desperate, or I'm only calling Billy because I want a referral? Anybody feeling that? Billy, do you feel that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So,
I mean, it's a struggle all the time.
Tom says guilty as charged. Okay. Tom, you've heard me share this script before. I want to give you guys a quick script. If you want to pull out your phone and record this, that to me re-engages conversation with your database in a tasteful manner, while also allows you to help them understand that you care about referrals without seeming desperate. That script or conversation is quite simple. I call Billy, and let's assume I haven't talked to Billy in a few months, maybe a year. I'm going to call Billy, and there's really just a few lanes to this convo. The first is, Billy, how the hell you been? Miss you, love you, mean it. Like, and going through the obligatory catch-up conversation. How's life? How's family? How's work? All the things, right? The reality is your sphere, they don't want to talk about how's life every time you call them, right? They're going to stop picking up the phone call if you call them every quarter to just see how life is. But I haven't talked to Billy in a while. It's very, sort of I'm looking for, acceptable and expected to just catch up. So the first part of the convo is the catch up, obligatory, how's life? Second pillar is saying, Billy, I got to tell you, man, I'm sorry that I haven't reached out. Your relationship means something to me. And I realize that, I'm at fault because I haven't reached out to see how everything's going. Like, I would love for us to just stay in communication more often because you matter to me. Like, I care, you care. Like, we don't have to talk every week, bro, but like, we should at least talk once a quarter, then just catch up and maybe get together, grab a beer, grab a meal, coffee, whatever. So, why is the I'm sorry important? Because it puts you in a state of being humble and it tugs at the heartstrings.
Also takes accountability.
Say that again?
Takes accountability too.
Yes, takes accountability. Tom just said it's genuine, it's real. And the truth is, if these people are in your database, you should genuinely want to be communicating with them. But life shows up, right? Even if it's not for referrals. I can't tell you how many people, like, I'm just looking through my phone. I'm like, shit, man, I haven't talked to this person in forever. And I don't love that, but it's the reality, right? So, with that said, it's the how's life? I'm sorry, love you, mean it. Let's stay in connection. And then the question of, so what are the two things, Billy, that you're most excited about for 2025? Billy's going to say, man, I'm really excited about A, and I'm really excited about B, whatever it is. We're going to go on vacation. We're going to, build a pool, whatever it may be. After I ask Billy that, what do you think Billy's going to ask me?
What are you excited about?
What are you excited about? And if he doesn't, I'm going to say, well, we're on the topic. Is it okay if I tell you what I'm really excited about this year? I'm going to say, number one, a real life example. I'm really excited that we're taking a trip to Europe, whatever it may be. Number two, I'm really committed and excited to grow my real estate business this year. And as I look back on all of the transactions I've done, that could be one, it could be a million. I look back on all the transactions I've done, I realize that my favorite transactions are when I get to work with my friends and their referrals. So I'm really committed to growing that part of my business this year. Since we're talking about it, Billy, do you mind to keep me in mind when someone thinks about buying or selling? Because I would love your referrals. And when we continue to catch up every, quarter or whatnot, do you mind if I ask who you might know that's thinking about buying or selling?
Not at all.
It's turned off by that, they shouldn't be in your database. They're just a jerk, right? So positioning it as this is a goal to grow my business, but it's the concept that I love working with people in my database, or referrals, is very genuine, it's authentic. And now I've turned that part of Billy's brain on because Billy, as my friend, wants me to be happy. And I don't expect him to go out and prospect for me. But if I could turn on that, what is it called, reticular activator in his brain, so that when conversations come up, his brain has created the connection to say, damn, I need to call Sam, or I got to refer Sam. That's kind of the goal there. Anything you want to add to that, Billy?
No, I think it's a really easy way to reconnect with your clients, and you always talk about this. You can't do it every time. You can't not call them for 2 years and say you're sorry and then not call them again for 2 years. You gotta keep up with the calls after that.
100%. So then the conversation or question becomes, what do we do to stay in front of these people over the course of the year? So for me, the answer is touch points that happen 24 to 36 times a year. So let's just say it's 24 times a year, that's 2 times a month. If I just take out a piece of paper and I just number it 1 through 24, and I say, okay, one of the ways I'm going to touch out is email. I'll send out 5 emails this year, 10 emails this year. Another is phone calls. I'm going to call them 4 times a year. Another is text messages. Another is snail mail, right? I look at all the different ways I can touch these people. And I go through my 1 through 24 and I build it out. And I say, okay, spot 2 is going to be an email. Spot 7 is going to be an email. 15 is going to be an email. And I build out 1 through 24. I take one day and I just build this whole thing out. Anything that could be automated, set it and forget it, like an email campaign, text campaigns, voicemail campaigns, all of that stuff, I can automate and pre-schedule in one day to carry me through for the full year. Then I'm left with the few things or few touches a year that are non-automated, that being phone calls, maybe video text messages, whatever it may be. So when I re-engage the conversation with this thought process that we use in the script, and then I back it up with a cadence of conversation and touch points 24 to 36 times a year, and most of those are automated, set it and forget it. Now I'm keeping the cadence of touch and communication intact without having to be reactively doing it all the time. And then once a quarter, when I call Billy to touch base, everything that's happening outside of that once a quarter phone call is continuing to keep me top of mind for Billy when he's thinking about buying or selling himself, or someone in his world brings this up in conversation. Anything you'd like to add to that, Billy?
No, but I'm sitting here thinking, and maybe this is after this portion, but I'm curious of what Big Block is using right now in AI, in the AI space, to assist with this automation, or to attract or get new agents that might be able to apply to how to go after more buyers or how to go after more listings.
100%. So what does that mean for you?
What does that mean for me?
Like, how would you execute that?
No, I'm asking what kind of AI tools is Big Block using to go after more agents that might translate to, if I use this tool, I might be able to go after more owners, or I might be able to use this tool to go after more buyers. What is Big Block using right now? What new tech are you guys using?
I mean, we're always playing with different AI stuff.
Thinking
Thinking
more of an
about
Oliver question.
it might be more of an Oliver question, but I'm trying to think, like, of all the things that are out right now, what could I use AI for to find more motivated sellers?
Or to help with the automations that you're talking about. So, I mean, obviously we have, I mean, creating a content for those.
Oh, yes, I see what you're saying.
Is really easy with ChatGPT right now, right? So, but what else are you using that is assisting with the creation of that content that you could translate from what you're doing with agents to what we're doing with trying to get after sellers and buyers?
Yeah, so there's a few things. Thank you for reeling that in for me. On the content creation side, something that we haven't really touched on, but I think is really important is video content, being active on social in front of the people that follow you, right? Great way to stay top of mind. So one of the cool things that I've been using is, I'm going to show you a couple of them. One of them is called HeyGen, HeyGen.com. Let me make sure it's .com. HeyGen, yeah, HeyGen.com. HeyGen is an AI tool that creates an avatar of you. What I mean by that, let me see if I can share my screen here. So inside of HeyGen, you come in here, you create an account, and you upload a 2-minute video of yourself talking. And you could literally be talking gibberish. It takes that 2-minute video and it clones you inside of their software. Now there's the AI cloned version of me inside of HeyGen. Then I can take any content that I want to touch on or talk about, be it whatever, doesn't matter what it is. I create the video script using something like ChatGPT. I upload it to HeyGen, and HeyGen will literally duplicate me speaking the script that I uploaded into the platform. So this video that you see here of this guy, that is not really him. It's him, but he didn't shoot that video. That is an AI, and my bandwidth is making it not play properly. That is an AI version of him talking. Same with this lady right here. So you shoot the video one time, then you upload, after it clones you, you upload your script each additional time, and it starts to create these video collaterals, these video contents for you without you having to actually do the videos ever again. There's another cool one that I've been using called Caption. It's an app. It's, I don't know if it's gonna, it's this one right here, Caption. And inside of that, they just rolled out the same thing to be able to clone yourself. I haven't used it yet, but I think it's a great way for us to stay in the motion of creating content without actually having to create it. Now, if you think about this, part of our follow-up campaign, our nurture campaign, like we said earlier, is going to be sending out, let's say, 10 emails a year. Those emails, I can now take that and turn it into a video script using ChatGPT and upload that into HeyGen. So the work that I'm already doing on one side of my business can be repurposed to video content on the other side of my business. So I ultimately get, 2 birds with 1 stone, if that makes sense. Any questions on the video side? The other thing you can do is, as you start to create your written content using ChatGPT, ChatGPT has an integration with Canva, and it can take the emails that you wrote or it wrote and send it to Canva and have Canva create graphics to support individually standalone representation of the email that it created for you. So when you start to look at all the plugins,
Say that again.
you can have ChatGPT connect to Canva. So I had ChatGPT write me, let's say, 20 emails. It can then send individually the emails to Canva. Canva will take that email and turn it into an infographic or a flyer or a social media graphic based off of the content that it wrote inside of the email. So I had ChatGPT write the email, and then I have ChatGPT send it to Canva to create a graphic around the content that it just wrote for me. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Any other thoughts or questions? Anything we can help with before we call it a day? Billy, you have anything?
No, sir.
No. All right. Well, with that said, let's remember, speaking of referrals, let's remember to remember WeLease and our friends Billy and Jasenia over there. They have a great referral program. Anytime you send them a property, they pay you a referral fee when they end up getting the management contract. And they also guarantee that should the seller end up deciding to sell, or the owner end up deciding to sell, that they will always send the client back to you. So make sure you reach out to them. Billy, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
My cell phone. You guys, I'll put it in the chat so everybody has it. You can either email me or call me. Happy to talk.
Cool. All right, y'all. Thank you for jumping on. If there's anything we can do to help, let us know. Make it a great day and finish off the week strong. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.